Hi and good day to everyone. Considering that I have delivered the statistician role with NORSU Nursing Students, I decided to give back to humanity what I have learned from the experience. First of all, shout out to all NORSU nursing researchers that I have worked with. Their names are at the reference section of the transcript shared for this pre-recorded video. Disclaimer: I am still waiting for an approval of sharing a copy of their unpublished manuscripts, so please refrain from using this content for publication and commercial purposes. All research assets in this video are for educational purposes only. All data in this series of PRVs on SPSS statistical treatment are being scrubbed and cleansed using ChatGPT. So what are the learning objectives for this video? At the end of this video, you'll be able to identify the variables present in the questionnaire, like this questionnaire, and of the raw data. And at the end of this video, you will be able to determine whether each demographic variable and non-demographic variable is a dependent variable or independent variable based on the identified data relationship and the statement of the problem question. Then you will be able to formulate a question for the statement of the problem, considering the identified variable relationships. And lastly, you should be able to identify the correct statistical data treatment for questions pertaining to significant relationships of variable relationships and of socio-demographic variables. Alright, so let me now walk you through the sample questionnaire and learn from it. In the questionnaire, you can specify the section name, like for first section A, we have the demographic data, the information about the respondents. So we have the name, we have the year level, the sex, the age, the household income. Question: is the name likely to be an independent or dependent variable in the study? Alright, so the name is primarily for identification purposes and won't influence other variables. Again, what are the variables in this questionnaire? Alright, so name is a variable, the sex is a variable, the age is a variable, the household income is also a variable, and so on and so forth, which means that each information asked is a variable. Right, so we have the question, do you use networking sites? So this kind of question is a variable. Okay. Here we also have variables under the section most accessed social media network. So we can call it as most accessed social media network variables. In the raw data, each information being asked will have a column, which means that each column is a variable. So as you can see, the questionnaire here and the raw data are not mapped. Okay, so we have a column called school year, first semester GPA, and then we have second semester GPA. Now let's take a look at the questionnaire. Do we have that question here? Alright, so we have what is your GPA, but we don't have the section for first semester, second semester. So we can say then that this questionnaire is not directly mapped to this raw data. So please feel free to construct a questionnaire based on the headers of this raw data as a practice in doing quality checks to ensure that the designed raw data variables are present in the questionnaire and based on the statement of the problem. Okay, so I will also share a link of this raw data in the description below. Alright, so let's park for now the mapping of the questionnaire, raw data, and the statement of the problem and discuss it later. Let me go through all the variables in the raw data, meaning the headers of the raw data. Okay. Alright, so let's consider these variables. What online platform do you use in your purpose of usage? And then select all that apply. Alright, so in this column, we have many answers. And then selected options are being separated in commas. So entertainment, comma, education and research, comma, buying and selling. So each social media platform for this question, like Facebook, Messenger, LinkedIn, and so on and so forth, is one unique variable and one unique column. So one column, one variable for each platform. Alright, so as you can see, the current version of the sample questionnaire or dummy questionnaire, we need to indicate a section for each social media platform, right? And the options are the following: entertainment, communication, education, so on and so forth. So instead of a Likert of strongly agree or disagree, which means that in the series of versions and discussions on the design and structure of the questionnaire, the group can revise and update the questionnaire as better ideas on how to properly construct it arise. Again, as we go along a series of testing the Google form and the questionnaire, we can improve our data structure. Disclaimer: don't really have some inputs on how to elegantly design and structure a questionnaire. It could be dependent on your preferences. I could say it is an art wherein we discover our personal touch. Everything depends on the scope and the needs of the research study. How might the year level influence social media usage patterns and academic performance? Yes, the year level could be an independent variable affecting other factors in the study. It's not the other way around, that the usage of social media sites will impact year level. So the year level variable is an independent variable. The same goes with gender, age, and household income. In the context of the mathematical concept called functions, these socio-demographic variables serve as the inputs, also known as the independent variables. These inputs will influence the dependent variables or the outputs, which represent the effects of the inputs. For example, the input household income. This will affect the duration and the frequency of social media use, which is the output or the dependent variable. Alright, so what statistical treatment is commonly being considered for demographic variables? Yes, we can have the frequency and the mean, and we can use various graphs to visualize the frequency and the mean. These graphs will be presented at the PRV on statistical treatment design. Let us continue to identify whether each question would give us an independent variable or dependent variable. Shall we? Alright, so we have this question: do you use networking site? So this is a variable. How does this question influence subsequent responses? ChatGPT answer: this question identifies participants who use social media, so impacting the analysis on social media related questions. Are there factors that can influence the usage of networking sites? What are these factors? So we can have personal preferences and interests, socioeconomic status, the age, the access to technology and internet connectivity, the cultural background and norms, privacy and security concerns, availability of the time and other commitments, psychological factors such as motivation and self-regulation. So the group will going to assess what factors you would like to incorporate into your study, okay? And based on your RRLs or review of related literature. Let's have the pairing of household income and do you use networking sites? Which is the input and which is the output? Yes, so the input is the household income. So household income is the independent variable and the output is the answer for the question, do you use networking sites? So this variable is a dependent variable. Now, if we want to study the data relationship between the household income and the usage of networking sites, what question can we pose for our statement of the problem? If we want to study the data relationship between the household income and the usage of networking sites, what will be our question for our statement of the problem? Correct, we can have a yes or no question, such as this one. Is there a significant relationship between students' duration of exposure to social media network and the following social demographic factors like age, gender, year level, and family income? Again, when we are discovering whether or not there is a significant relationship, we're going to use the Pearson correlation statistical treatment. Now let's discuss the variable most accessed social media. How might the choice of social media network influence usage patterns and academic performance? ChatGPT answered that the choice of social media network might be influenced by other factors rather than being an independent variable. Do you agree? Alright. Is this an independent or dependent variable? Yes, it depends on what variables are being paired with in terms of data relationships. So please watch the part 2 of this video lesson, and thank you for watching.